Hey everybody, this is Scott. This is my first video for YouTube. It's a haul video. I went to Hobbytown today and bought a bunch of new stuff, a lot of products I haven't tried in the past, and some things that I have. So I'm just going to show you the things that I got, and some of the subsequent videos will be using all of these elements for different projects on the layout. I'll also start introducing you to the layout and some of the models that I'm building, some of the kits I'm putting together, and some of the tricks and ideas that I've come up with over the years of N-Scale. So starting off, we've got Woodland Scenics. It's a 4-piece kit for a 4% incline. It's a starter kit. I have never used their inclines before, but I've heard really awesome things about them. And I'm starting to work on, don't mind the tape, I already opened it up. Starting to work on a decline that comes off of the layout into a rail yard at some point. My layout's 3 foot wide by 8 foot long. It's put together into 2 sections. I'm going to show you basic construction of how I put together my underboard and everything. It's built with a lightweight aluminum frame, which is a kind of a new thing I haven't seen anybody do yet. I gave it a try and it seemed to work out really good. So yeah, that's one project. We got the incline decline kit from Woodland Scenics. I love all of their products so far. I've been using them for years, all their different powders and stuff for doing scenic stuff. All the greens, all the ballast, everything's awesome by that company. Bought 2 pieces of FlexiTrack. On inclines and declines, I like to use FlexiTrack, even though the rest of the kit, the rest of the layout is almost all snapped together Kato. The Kato runs really smooth, but when it comes to declines and inclines, I like to use a piece of Flexi. This way there's just no connection points, and I know that I got a smooth run. I'll also be doing a video on how to connect Flexi to Kato, which is actually pretty simple if you use the right materials. A lot of guys have figured it out already, but it would be nice to do a video on that. Next thing that I got was some paints from Citadel. I'm completely unfamiliar with this brand. I've never done any of that kind of modeling for Gundam or Warhammer. But this seems to be really huge in Warhammer. The guy gave it a really good review at the store, and he said. Next up, I got a whole bunch of strip styrene by a company called Evergreen Scale Models. I've been using Plastruct for a real long time. This is the first time I'm using Evergreen Scale Models, but it seems like the same product in general. I did like the selection that they had, so we got some strip, some angle, some rods in 2 different sizes, and some I-beam. I don't really get too bogged down with what sizes are what and what the, 0.064, 0.05, 0.075, all this other stuff. I don't really care. I just kind of look at it for general detail, and I like to work really, really, really small. So if I can find stuff that's really small, it adds more detail to the layout and to individual models. Next thing we got from Evergreen Scale Models was sheet styrene. So we've got metal siding, which has got a really nice, let's focus. I don't know. There we go. Come on. iPhone doesn't want to focus today. There we go. It's got a nice groove to it. This one's called Board and Batten, which has got a pretty decent groove to it too. You can see that. There we go. This is another size of Board and Batten. 2 different sizes of each other. Like that. And then all the rest, oh wait, one more. This one's also listed as metal siding. This has got a kind of cool up and down groove to it. The rest of them are all listed as sidewalk. They come in like a 1/8 inch square, 3/16 inch square. Got another one of 1/8, because I probably go through that a lot, and a quarter-inch square. The quarter-inch square is really cool because I think at end scale, seems like that would be almost perfect size for sidewalks. You can see over on the model I've been working on, which is a lumber yard. It's one section of a lumber yard. I usually do my sidewalks by laying mat board over the foam core, and then I hit it with a layer of matte medium or a lot of time like matte modeling paste, which is made by Liquitex art supply company. Then you can carve into it really slightly with the X-Acto knife and then just kind of push some color into the grooves. It turns out really nice. But it's good for doing sidewalks that are uneven and kind of busted and messed up. But if you really want them to look like clean new sidewalks, this stuff seems to be the key. So I got it all in different sizes, all the way down to really small checks, which I'm sure you could use for tile, like on the interior of a building or through windows or anything, places like pavilions or any kind of stuff that you could see. You can see the different sizes. Lastly, we got a bunch of basswood strips, all different sizes. I'm going to be chopping these up like crazy, making bundles and stacks of lumber that are going into the lumber yard. This lumber yard's got 2 buildings. They're from 2 different companies and 2 different kits. This one, I think, is one of those older German kits. I bought this assembled on eBay for about $10, which was a really good deal because it's a very nice kit and it was put together really well. And then started to kit bash it myself. I laid it onto the foam board, built this kind of like riser in the back with some Plastistruct I-beams that I had left over. Started chopping up the leftover small strips of basswood that I had and making piles of lumber. There's a good focus. Making pallets. These are all hand-built individual pallets. I made them in about a half hour. Probably did about 10 of them. They're really, really small. Very minute bits of glue. This wall was also scratch-built from a sheet that I printed. So basically I went online and I found a brick pattern that had been made in Photoshop. It wasn't like a photograph of brick, it was somebody's graphic of brick. And I just laid it down a whole bunch of times on a sheet and printed it out at FedEx Kinko, and I've had a lot of brick since then that I can use. Now I want to show you something really cool. This was something I bought that didn't have anything to do with going to Hobbytown. I got this online at eBay from a seller that sent it from Greece, and I can list the seller's name in case anybody else wants to buy from them, because I'm going to tell you this is an awesome product. These are sheets of brick, already in N scale, and you can see they're all in